A very good evening to you all, and welcome to a Date with a Dinner Set, programme 264, here on August the 10th. A lovely, warm afternoon, he said, grinning like a Cheshire cat, and very much looking forward to the heat wave we are having, certainly in this part of the world anyway, for the next 3 days. It's going to go up to 33 down here. It could be higher, but we'll settle for that. I'm more than happy about that. Anyway, you are most welcome to a Date with a Dinner Set. I hope you've had a good week, whatever you have been up to. And I hope this finds you well, whether you are with us watching live or whether, as a lot of you do, you're watching on the catch-up. So that wasn't the bit of music I was going to play for you for our opening today, but I changed it mid-afternoon when I heard some news. So in actual fact, we have had that one before as our opening music. We do try not to repeat, but we have had that one before. It was indeed the music to Mr. Benn. Mr. Benn from 1971. 14 episodes were made of that iconic series written by David Mackey. And the reason for playing that was to hear the sad news this afternoon of Ray Brooks's passing. It was on the BBC website, so I thought, we better pay tribute to that iconic actor. He started in Coronation Street. He's been on many films and TV. I think he even ended up on EastEnders in the end. But perhaps he's best remembered for the wonderful narration to Mr. Benn from 1971, as I say. That music was composed by this chap. He went under the name of Don Warren. That was a pseudonym. His real name was Duncan Lamont, and he was a London-based jazz saxophonist who ran many bands and worked with a lot of the greats. So that's why we had that one as our opening, the lovely quirky music to Mr. Benn. It's interesting, isn't it? If you think about, I think I've done about 150 different openings to our programme, and a lot of them have been children's TV, and they're the best ones. They really are. They were, well, certainly of old anyway, some crackers of theme tunes. Anyway, that was our opening one this evening. I hope you can see the tie tonight, and it's balloons. We've had this one before. It's designed by the Italian artist Fornasetti, and the reason for wearing this today is because today is the last day of the 4-day Bristol Balloon Festival. They've had fantastic weather for it this time. They've been airborne quite a few times and had their night glow, etc. I'm quite well informed about the Bristol Balloon Show. I went once, sadly, in a year when it was too windy and none of the balloons got off the ground, but a great occasion. It's been going for, I think, for about 45 years, I'm going to say. I'm also going to say hello, Jean. How lovely to see you. Fantastic. Okay, so quite an interesting programme this evening. Well, it's always interesting, isn't it? So I hope you will enjoy. If you're with us live and you want to join in the chat room, then please do. I say every week there's something for everyone, and at least, you know them. You know them. If not all of them, most of them. Do enjoy our programme this evening. I would say I'll have a sip of coffee, but I've not got coffee on the go. I've got a bit of the old Diet Coke, I'm afraid. It's nice and cold, though. So cheers to that. Hello, Maggie and Jerry. Hello, Auntie Roz. How lovely to see you. Fantastic evening. Indeed, that was, as Jill and Hannah said, The Shadow of Your Smile from 1965. Yeah, 60 years old. Do you like my maths there? Quick me, I'm very quick, I am. And The Shadow of Your Smile was actually, its other title was the love song from the film The Sandpiper, which you can see, if you've not seen it, which I've not, starred Elizabeth Taylor and Richard Burton. It was the third of their 11 series of films of the Power Couple, I think they're called. And that song was very famously composed by Mr. Johnny Mandel. Johnny Mandel, who composed also, what else did he compose? Quite a few other things. The theme from MASH is another one of his iconic pieces. He was a musical arranger and conductor for many of the greats. And that piece, For Shadow of Your Smile, became quite a hit in the 60s. It was a minor hit for Tony Bennett. And then all the usual suspects like Johnny Mattis, etc. Andy Williams recorded it. It's a good tune, I have to say. And I have a little anecdote about this. The first job I had in a wine bar in London as a student was in Wandsworth, and it was quite a nice little place, you know. And for me, it was brilliant because I played for 3 hours and I got a meal and I got 10 quid. It was fantastic. And the owner of that said, look, I needed to play The Shadow of Your Smile. Well, of course, in those days, it wasn't quite as easy as Googling things, or, I had to research it a little bit. He said, if you learn to play The Shadow of Your Smile, every time you play it and I'm on duty, you'll get an extra quid. So that was 11 quid. So, that hadn't PDQ, as you might suspect. That was our opening one this evening, so I hope you enjoyed that one. The Shadow of Your Smile, as always, do press the thumbs up button, press it on the left, and it will illuminate for you. We'd love to have your thumbs up if you are enjoying what you see and you hear on A Date with a Dinner Set. Fantastic stuff. Bit more of this, and then on to our next piece of music, which we've only had once before. In 264 programs, I know. Oh, Mark, I'm jolly glad you didn't. It's too early in the program for that sort of catastrophe, isn't it, really? Yeah, we've only, as I say, we've only had that once on the programme in all these years. It's a pretty good guess, Hannah, actually. With a smile and a song. Oh, I knew it, said Jill. I knew it. From 1937. And there we go. I think that that little card I've put up there is probably in better condition than the original film, actually, from Snow White, of course, the first full-length animated Disney film. And that was one of many songs. You know, if we're honest, it's not one of the best ones. It's, you know, it's a bit of a switch off, sort of go to the loo, get an ice cream, sort of cup of tea type of song. It's a nice song, though, actually. And the person that composed it was actually Mr. Disney of the time. Frank Churchill, who composed an awful lot for Disney. He joined the corporation in 1930, and one of the first things he wrote was Who's Afraid of the Big Bad Wolf? And then he wrote all the music for Snow White. Oh, Colin, why did you stop, Jill? Oh dear, what were we talking about? Yeah, Frank Churchill. Yeah, so he also composed the music to Dumbo and to Bambi and to Peter Pan. So, you know, he was the first big Disney in-house composer, you know, closely followed by the Sherman Brothers, who had their reign, and then, of course, it went over to Alan Menken and Co. Well, he probably went to get an ice cream or a cup of tea, Hannah. You know, that's what it was. Yeah, I mean, you know, it's for its time. It's a nice little song. It's nicely composed. Anyway, that's what it was, with a smile and a song. So hope you enjoyed that one. Do take a look at this week's upload. We're doing Irving Berlin this month, and when somebody like Irving Berlin, who's composed about 1,300 songs. You know, it's quite tricky to choose which ones to do, but this was a very obvious one to do. A jaunty, jolly little number, as I think my brother described it. From 1920, it was his hit song, I Love a Piano, from the musical Stop, Look and Listen. And yeah, it's a well-known one. We've had it a few times on the show. And, you know, it's worth watching just for some groovy pianos that I found on the internet, actually. So do take a look at that. As always, there is there is a link underneath if you wish to have a look at I Love a Piano, Irving Berlin. There it is. Stop, look and listen. I told you it's from that. It's there for you on the site, and next Friday there will be another Irving Berlin song which you can listen to, if you so wish. It would be lovely to have your company listening to the uploads. We do an upload every Friday. So there we go. Right. Here's one we've never had on the show before, so do enjoy. Indeed, when you're mailing everything, it was indeed. When you're smiling, as you're smiling, I feel you're all smiling. It's a very sort of smiley program, isn't it? Oh yes, it does, doesn't it, Jill? Exactly the same. I feel. I feel another intervallic program coming on of a minor third followed by a perfect fourth. Good spot, Jill. We'll make a note of that. Very interesting. 1928 is the date of that one. And it was composed by a group of people, which is always a bit awkward, especially when it's not really clear who wrote the tune. Yeah, but intervallically. That's a good word, intervallically. Yeah, so a combination of Mark Fisher, Joe Goodwin, and Larry Shay wrote that. I think, that Larry Shay was the one that mainly wrote the music to that. And as I say, it was a collaboration, 1928. And it's been a hit for quite a few people. The first time it was a hit was in 1929 for Louis Armstrong, but it also was a big one for Billie Holiday and latterly Michael Bublé. And here's a little nugget of info. It is the unofficial anthem of Leicester City Football Club. Yeah, I don't know if that is ironic. I don't know. I don't know anything about football, as you probably guess. That they don't, often do very well. So, to sort of keep smiling. Maybe it's that. I don't know. But that's what it says on the internet, and I'll believe it. So it's all good. I'm going to press this button now. It says, if you're listening to this and you're not already subscribed, then please do subscribe to YouTube Gigi the Piano Man. Do like the things that we do, and do give us a comment. I love comments. We don't get very many comments really on the channel. So do leave comments whenever you can, because it does help us. Shall we say. Right, we better go on because I'm rattling on too much here. Right, a bit more drink. It's getting quite warm in here. Indeed, Can't Smile Without You. And yes, that was more akin to the Barry Manilow version from 1977. The song was written in 1975. It was written by these guys. And I think, left to right, it's Chris Arnold, David Martin and Geoff Morrow. And they wrote a number of songs, and for a time they were also known as the group Butterscotch. Don't know if any of you have heard of them. I've heard of them. I couldn't name one of their hits, mind you. But they penned that song, and then good old Bazza made it quite a hit in 1977, though you are correct, Mark. The Carpenters also did a version, slightly different version. Barry Manilow's version, slightly different lyrics, and being Barry Manilow, all those key changes I just did, they are there. A multiple offender of a truck driver gear shift in that one, 3 semitonal shifts in that one, but it's a great song. Now look, there's a very specific reason why I played that one tonight, and I have my great friend Martyn Johnson, a fellow YouTuber, to thank for that one. And he listens to our program every week on Catch Up. He's got his own channel, a very successful YouTuber, Martycli Piano Guy, and he specialises in ragtime and stride. And he sent me a comment. He always does a sort of rundown on our show, actually. It's fantastic. He really, really enjoys doing that one. Do take a look at his channel. I've put a link beneath it. He lives in the northeast of England, and very often he does what I call a travelogue composition. Really great fun, very, very talented guy. But the reason for mentioning this is that when we did our programme the other week of a minor third and perfect fifth, I threw it open, didn't I? I said, if anyone out there knows any more songs that begin with the interval of a minor third and a perfect fifth, let us know. And Marty actually wrote to me and said, well, what about this one? And it was the one you just heard. And in the Barry Manilow version, it actually starts, doesn't it, like that, with that sort of rather sweet whistling, and then it forms the first bridge. So I was really, really chuffed when he told me about that. I thought it was another one to add to the list. So that was really what partly governed what tonight's programme has all been about, and it all sort of fell into place around that. So a very big shout out and thank you to Martyn Clive Johnson for that. Can't Smile Without You from 1975. There we go. On with our next piece of music. Indeed, a tripped out tree rat. Yeah, he's lots of fun, that squirrel, I have to say. Quite why we had that one. Oh, I know why. I couldn't exactly find the bit of film that I was looking for, so I thought we'd pull him out of a tree again. And Jill is as good as correct, indeed. That was You're Never Fully Dressed Without a Smile. We had one from Annie last week. It's another song from Annie. This one comes from Act 2, and it's absolutely fantastic bit of pastiche of a 1930s radio jingle, and it's one of my favourite numbers from that show composed, as we said last week, by Charles Strouse, who only passed away 2 months ago, who also composed by Birdie. So he composed that in 1976, and as a show, it's had numerous revivals in Broadway and the West End, and lots of tours. It's done at least 3 versions of the film, and that song must be one of the good ones because it appears in all the films. Not all the songs from the musical appear in the film. So, hope you enjoyed that one. Yes. So. Today, August the 10th, is, according to our friends across the pond, National S'mores Day. I don't know how familiar we are with. I'm familiar with them. I've never had one. Never. I think they came onto my radar too late, having given up chocolate in 1999. I understand the concept. It's been around since about the 1920s, and it is a contraction of some more. And it's fairly obvious what they're made of, isn't it? I mean, sugar, because American, but the concept is 2 graham cracker. Our next best equivalent is a digestive biscuit, not quite the same. Toasted marshmallow, as toasty or as burnt as you so wish, or as lethally lava-y hot, and some chocolate. I guess they'd be having Hershey's. I don't know what we'd have in this country. I would have said Cadbury's, but I have it on very good authority. They're not quite as good. Sorry, Maggie, I'm reading your comment about figs. I absolutely adore figs. Hey, I might come round. For coffee and figs. Yeah. We, my ex Catherine and I, we had a fig tree, which was only got dug up and chopped down. It got absolutely massive, so it had to be cut down in their garden this year. But my ex has taken cuttings, and there's about 4 little trees now. They're incredibly prolific, aren't they? I do adore figs. I may well be taking you up on that, Mrs. Robertson. There we go. I think it's time to launch into our final song this evening before we sort of round things up a little bit. Indeed, a lovely little theme from his film Modern Times. He composed that theme, or the melody anyway, did Charlie Chaplin in 1936, and he had great help from the composer David Raksin, who actually arranged all the music for that film. So continuing with the TGI thread, Auntie Ros and Mark, there aren't that many of them left at all, I have to say. But it does sound good, doesn't it? No surprise, really. All our songs this evening have had the word smile in the title. That was purely an accident, and as I say, it all came about because of my fellow YouTuber, Martyn Clive Johnson, talking about Can't Smile Without You, and then the whole program grew around that like Topsy. So it's nice when things like that happen, and I hope it literally brought a smile to whoever is listening, whether you are listening with us live in the chat room or whether you're watching, as most of you do, on the catch-up. There will, of course, be another Irving Berlin upload coming on Friday. Do take care, especially if you're having hot weather this week. Added little bonus to say goodbye to the Bristol Balloon Festival. I'm going to play you out this evening. Won't be any surprise what I play. Well, it will be a surprise because it doesn't actually contain the word smile. Thank you so much for listening. Do take care of yourselves. All the very best and good night.